Hey everybody, it's Maddie Cummins with Celebrations LLC and the facilitator and the founder of Calming the Chaos Collective. It's Friday. I love Fridays. It's a new weekend and a week done and lots of things checked off the list. Hopefully for you guys as well. For those of you that don't know, I'm in Arizona and it's beautiful weather right now. This is our time of year, and it's our time of year that I start taunting everybody with our gorgeous weather. So if you come on, say hi so I can say hi back and continue the conversation. And again, if you're watching this on replay, just do hashtag replay and I'll come in and chat with you guys. So this week we're talking about overwhelm. And, it's so interesting to me because it's like we get in the overwhelm without even knowing that we're in the overwhelm. Hey, Cindy, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Hope you're having a good day. So, this overwhelm that we get into, it's like it's the spinning, it's the chaos, it's all the stuff we talk about. But this overwhelm is just, the brain is just, it's like it's not working. Almost like we're going through the motions, and it feels like we're never caught up, right? Like there's just all this stuff. Part of what I find is when I'm too busy and I'm not organized in my personal life and my professional life, there's just too much stuff going on up there. My brain is trying to maintain all of this information in my head. I get out of the habits of doing what I know I need to do so that my brain is clear. We talk about this all the time. We know what we need to do, but when we're in the overwhelm, it's really, really hard to get there. So 3 reasons for overwhelm. We're going to talk about 3 whys for overwhelm today. And one of those is just too much to do. There's too much stuff in our head. It feels like everything is a priority. And so trying to manage all of that in our brain, especially when we have anxiety, is really, really difficult. Number 2 is we're just not dealing with some of the emotional stuff that we may need to be dealing with. What I know about my brain and most people's brain, especially with anxiety, is that when I'm feeling something, when I'm feeling emotional about something and I need to deal with it, I tend to go and work. Or I go and piddle, or I go and veg out in front of Netflix, and that stresses me out because I have all this list of things to do. And so my brain is avoiding the emotional impact that it doesn't want to feel. That's number 2. The 3rd reason, so we talked about too much to do, not wanting to deal with the emotional impact of things. The 3rd reason is, and I think it's a little bit of both, of the 2 that I just talked about, but what I often find is that when my brain is in overwhelm, I talk about us having a closet door that we shove everything behind and we just close it and lock it. And it's this ability, and it's a good thing. It's compartmentalizing, which is not a bad thing. Compartmentalizing isn't a bad thing because it helps us function. But what I find is that when that door is just slammed shut and we're not dealing with all this stuff back here we need to be dealing with, stuff starts seeping under the door. So when that stuff starts seeping under the door, then we start this overwhelm of, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. It just gets insane. And so those are those things that I think are really, really difficult. So we're going to talk about 3 ways to get rid of the overwhelm. The first one that I just went and did it just this morning. I took 30 minutes and it took me 30 minutes because of the overwhelm I'm feeling with all the stuff I have to do. And I just sat and made to-do lists. I love writing down to-do lists. I love doing them because here's what happens. Even as I write it down, I'm able to scratch it off. I'm able to check it off. It's like that checklist of being able to say, nope, 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 I've done all that stuff. But the bigger point is that it gets it out of my brain and onto paper, and then I don't have to remember it anymore. I actually have 3 to-do lists. I have one personal, I have one for my business, and then I have one I'm an independent contractor for a couple of agencies. So I have a 3rd one that's for that, so that when I look at it, I can say, okay, here's my time frame that I'm going to be working on this, and I've got these 5 things. So separating it out also helps me because it doesn't look so long. So sometimes when I sit and I just write this to-do list, I get overwhelmed with the length of things, of seeing the length of things that have to get done. A second thing to do is, and I talked about this in one of the posts, is just a brain dump. I love brain dump. So when I start recognizing that emotional piece that I don't want to deal with, I will actually just sit down and write. And I talk about this, and we've talked about this in the masterclass. I mean, we talk about this ability to just sit and write. There's nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to think. If you need, some just questions to start with, just comment them below, and I will post a couple. Sometimes I think people, it's not journaling, it's brain dumping. And I think journaling can really feel intimidating to people because you think there's a certain way that we're supposed to do it. And this is just writing. It's just absolutely writing things down and making a decision that you're going to write whatever comes to your brain. It doesn't have to make any sense. It's only for you. And that brain dump, it's just so interesting how things start coming to the surface that your brain has been chaotically trying to not deal with. And the beauty of that then is that we can decide what to do with it. So we're more in control of it instead of it controlling us. So the third thing that you can do is, and there's lots of things that you can do, and we talk about a lot of these things in the group, but the third thing I try to do is the visualization. So I will just sit and I'll close my eyes and visualize my safe place that I love to be. It is my mom's land. It is a place that I sit and I look out in God's beauty and I just calm. And that's the place that I visualize when I'm feeling overwhelmed so that I can just decrease, decompress, and begin to realize that this is the stuff I should be dealing with. This is the stuff I need to do. It helps me prioritize. And it helps me just get my brain back in a space of non-chaos, which is really important when we're trying to deal with the overwhelm. So some great ways to just start. And again, this journey is about intentionality. It's about making sure that we're going to do something different instead of just surviving, because that's what it feels like when we're in overwhelm, right? So it feels like we're just surviving instead of thriving. And so the intentionality of adding something new in these times is what's going to get you on the journey to dealing with the chaos. So I would love for you to just put in the comments, what is the one intentional thing? It could be one of the three things that we talked about. It could be the to-do list. It could be the brain dump. It could be the visualization. It could be any other thing that is works for you. But I want you to put those in the comments so that you have the accountability and the intentionality of starting that journey. So it's great to see you guys. I always love the comments. I always love the connection that you have in the collective. I'm just going to ask that you, make sure you keep inviting people in, because this journey is so common for people. And I know, and you guys are finding out, that this journey, it doesn't have to be this way. We can change it. So thanks as always for hanging out. And Cindy, it was good to see you. And again, hashtag replay if you're watching in the comments. So you guys have a great weekend, and I'll be seeing you in the collective.